Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video here on the channel. It has been quite a while to say the least, 10 months to be exactly. And well, the reason was my recording equipment failed, and then I decided to take a break from Formula 1 in its entirety. But we're back with league racing in RSF1, and we're kicking things off with Season 6 Round 1 here in Bahrain. For this new season we've been drafted into the Red Bull. For this race I have a reserve teammate. I haven't actually heard anything from my actual teammate yet. Neither has the league itself, so that's a bit of a mystery. But anyways, I was ready for this race, so let's jump into it. So starting our first flying lap here in Q1, I really only wanted to use one set of softs for this session because I wanted to save one for the race, because I was going to attempt the medium to soft strategy. Which meant I could really use a fresh set of softs. Now coming to the end of this flying lap, it was a decent lap. I was going to attempt another lap after this, but that didn't turn out to be any good. So this was my fastest time of the session, being a 1:26.9. And yeah, after this I felt confident, so I just retired in the garage and set out the rest of Q1. So as you can see, with that lap time we came 7th, which was more than enough to get us through to Q2. And now we're going to attempt to qualify on the mediums. So rolling out of the garage now on medium tires, I had already done a banker lap on softs, the same set I used in Q1. And I did an invalid lap on them on purpose, so it would show the delta in the top right. But if I were not to complete a lap on mediums, it wouldn't put me on softs for the race. So now we're starting our lap on medium tires in this Q2 session, and this one has to be good. If you can complete just one lap on these tires, they're going to be so much fresher for the race in comparison to people who have to do a second or maybe even a third lap on them just to qualify on the mediums. Now coming to the end of this lap, we are currently on for a high 27. In practice I did mid 27s, but you can't always do it perfectly in the session itself. And at 27.9 it is a full second slower than our lap on softs in Q1. And as you can see right now, I'm still pushing into turn 1, as I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to do a second lap. But going onto this straight, I kind of decide, no, I don't want to do this. And I back off so that I can save the tires for the race. So as you can see, it was enough. We managed to get into Q3 with just one lap on the medium tires. Stretch, the only one going into Q3 with softs, so he really has to qualify high to make that strategy work. And well, the rest is on medium, so it's going to be an interesting race. See who's going to do what strategy. Are they going to go on hards or softs after this stint? But first, Q3. Coming into Q3, I have 3 sets of softs remaining, and I'm going to use only 2 of them in this session, so that I have 1 left for the race. Make sure to use the set meant for Q3 first, as I set provisional pole position. That is not going to last for long, as people behind me are already faster. This was kind of just a banker lap. I didn't try very hard, but it was a decent lap nonetheless. Using that set of soft that is meant for Q3 first, because you won't be able to use that in the race. You will take the sets that are meant for Q1 and 2 with you to the race, but the Q3 set you won't take with you. So it's important you save one of the Q1 or 2 sets and use the Q3 set in Q3. Meanwhile, I've just started my final lap in Q3, and I'm just going to leave you on board with it. So our lap is good enough for P3, only half a tenth of Braver Container. Lincoln in second place, only 8 thousandths behind him. Lincoln is the Division 4 champion of last season, now going up to Division 3, and straight away performing very well. We'll be starting the race in third, which is very decent, I'd say, so I was quite happy with that performance. Now, having a look at a strategy, I was going to attempt medium to sauce. The game wouldn't allow me to choose it, so I just, I decided I was going to do 10 laps on the sauce at the end. Adjusting the fuel because you don't really use much fuel on this track. And there will most likely be a safety car. So that's the strategy for today, and let's head into the race. Starting the formation lap now, and now the nerves kind of start building up. I mean, I haven't done a proper race in quite a while. I did one social race before this, but that wasn't quite the same as just starting this new season here today. So rolling into position now, and we're going to be waiting for those 5 red lights.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and we have a decent start compared to Lincoln. Braver Container is away well, and he takes the lead, but there's also a car up the inside. It looks like Hunt is going up the inside of both of us here into turn 1. I take a wide line, I back off a little bit. I really don't want to damage my wing. This first stint on the mediums, I have to take it very easy so that they can last the entire way. That is crucial that I make these mediums last. So losing only 1 position of the start is not a bad thing. I just don't want to be battling all the time. So I'm just going to follow Lincoln here. Hunt is already challenging Braver Container for first place, and he has had a massive start. Luckily for us, the McLaren behind us doesn't put much pressure on us, and there's already carnage behind because there's already a yellow flag. Only just a sector into the race, only a few corners, and well, luckily we didn't pick up any damage. We managed to keep it clean, and we are just going to follow Lincoln here. Now just a lap later, on the beginning of lap 2, I am following quite easily. I am taking it easy on the tires, but there's already a virtual safety car on the second lap, and in all honesty that is just going to help our tires last the entire stint. Now on the safety car restart, virtual safety car restart, I made a mistake. My delta was too high and I kind of lost touch to the cars ahead, but luckily for me, it looks like Braver Container has some damage. You will be able to see in a little bit. I'm outside of the DRS window right now, but we will be closing in rapidly on Braver Container and Lincoln needs to overtake Braver Container as soon as he can, because, well, you can already see up ahead it looks like he's stuck behind him, and Lincoln is looking to make the move round the outside of Braver Container, and he makes it stick quite easily. Braver Container does put up a fight, but that is usually not a place you can overtake so easily. So Braver Container has some damage, and we will have to get past him as soon as we can to stay with Lincoln and stay in his DRS so that we can fight for this podium. And onto the middle straight, we are deploying ERS. DRS is wide open, but Braver Container also has DRS from Lincoln, and we weren't able to make the move right there, but through this part, Braver Container is just very slow. As you can see, he runs wide. He probably has some wing damage, and we just go up the inside very, very easily. And now we can chase after Lincoln again, trying to stay within his DRS. But as you can see, the gap is literally a few thousandths over a second, and I should have deployed more ERS to stay in the DRS of Lincoln. But we've fallen out of it as Braver Container now pits. But because we had fallen out of the DRS of Lincoln, that allowed Lincoln to get away, and we are now 1.5 seconds away, so no DRS for me. And Breezy behind me, he has had an amazing start. He didn't make it into Q3, which surprised me because he was very, very quick. But he now goes up the inside, so I'm back to 4th. And well, as I said before, I really do not want to battle on these tires, so I just let him through. I wasn't going to try and launch or defend round the outside. I was just going to let him pass and slipstream off him, use his DRS, use it to save my ERS, so that when I get to that soft stint, I can just have a massive push and hopefully we'll be able to take a podium. But we can't hang back too much because we also have the AlphaTauri behind, and that car is looking very, very fast, and I will be forced to defend somewhat because I don't want to lose too many positions. Ideally I want to stay here and keep up with Breezy and not get overtaken anymore before we pit for sauce.
Yellow flag.
As you can hear Jeff say, there's a yellow flag ahead. A car has retired in the pits but drove out of it, at least the eye did. But we have immense pressure from the AlphaTauri behind, and just to defend we will have to attack Breezy here so that we won't get overtaken into turn 1. So there's a yellow flag. I'm not allowed to overtake, so I go as far side by side as I can, just to defend from the AlphaTauri behind. It is my teammate that has driven out of the pits. Well, his AI has driven out of the pits after retiring in the pits, but we have successfully defended from the AlphaTauri behind, and we keep 4th position for now. But just a few corners later, on the bottom of your screen, RSF1 Stretch has retired and the safety car has come out.
Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Jeff saying there's no plans for a safety car. Well, what am I witnessing then, Jeff? Get your facts straight. Anyways, now I had a big decision to make. Do I go for hards to the end? I haven't really tried hards. Because of my strategy, I wanted to go to the softs at the end, but now I might be forced to go on to the hards till the end of the race, because softs obviously won't make it. So I, just to make sure, I press box this lap so my team will be ready if I decide to box. And right now I just decided I'm gonna follow what the guys ahead of me are doing. If they stay out, I stay out. If they box, I will box. And we will see in a minute here that it looks like that RSF1 Hunt is boxing, Lincoln is boxing, Breezy is boxing, so we will be boxing as well for the hard tire. Let's speed this up because pit lanes just take too long. We pit for the hards and we get held up a little bit, but we stay in 4th. But Hunt, he has lost the most places. He went from 1st to 3rd, and he has been really screwed into the pit lane. Now, something very unfortunate is going to happen, and well, my capture card didn't capture it. Well, it captured exactly what I saw. Yeah, so the screen froze, and when it unfreezes, this is what I see. Yeah, so from my POV you can't really see what happened, but if we look at the stream right now...
Everybody has come back out in front of Braver Container!
I know why. I know why. Mercedes is the first pit box as you come in. And he got stuck there while everyone else was coming down. Wait, Stitchin's out!
Huh?
Stitchin's out! Stitchin's just hit the back of Hunt. He's out!
So what you can vaguely make up from the stream is that my car just plows straight into the back of Hunt. But, well, unfortunately I had no control over my car at that point anymore. I think what went wrong is when my game froze, I kept my foot on my throttle. That might have plowed my car into Hunt. I'm not sure because I couldn't see, as you have seen before. Well, Hunt got 2 5-second time penalties for the incident in game. Luckily he got both of them removed at the end of the race because I didn't serve them into the pits. Once again, I'm very sorry to Hunt for well, maybe compromising his race ever so slightly, but in the end it was all fine because they got removed. Anyways guys, that was it for today's race. A very short one, only 7 laps long, but nonetheless I enjoyed the 7 laps I drove. I felt very confident in my pace and in my ability not to corner cut, which had been well, a massive thing back in the day. I used to rack up 12 seconds worth of penalties a race on average, and well, I felt like I could have scored a podium this race, but unfortunately my 2015 Xbox One gave up during that short period, and since then I bought a new one. I got the Series S. So I am ready to race actually tonight at Imola at 8 PM UK time on the RSF1 Twitch channel. It will be live streamed, so if you see this in time, make sure to tune in, and if not, I will have a video about it next Wednesday. See y'all later.